Hey everybody, Teresa here from Inspiration Cards, and it's a Monday night, the first Monday night after my munchkins have gone back to school. Still a few bumps along the way, but we're slowly getting back into the routine of getting up and heading out to school every day. But in the meantime, while we're getting that sorted out, I'm still excited to come back and share some live crafting projects with you here. So this week, I'm going to be sharing one last couple of alternatives with the Hope Box kit from August. So this is the paper pumpkin kit that Shelley Douglas, one of the co-founders of Stampin' Up, created for August. These are a couple of different ones. So one card and then one kind of alternative, almost like a gift tag, so to speak. So let's get this flipped around and let's get to some crafting. Go. All right, so here is the box. I'm going to be, if you've caught some of my other live crafting sessions, I've mentioned that I'm actually going to be repurposing this for something completely different. So the idea originally was to use some of the items from inside the box to actually create almost like a little gift wrap label around it. So then you can fill it with goodies and then give it away. I'm going to be filling it with stamping and crafting goodies and keeping it for myself. But I am using some of those materials from tonight for tonight's projects. So of course, lots of Blackberry Bliss has been going on this past month. Here is our stamp set. As you can see, I still have a fair bit of the Blackberry Bliss ribbon. So I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do with what's left. And I still have, so there's a few pieces from one of the die cuts that I cut up for another project. There we go. And there we go. So I still have a few envelopes. I think all the cards I've made, these envelopes will probably go pretty quickly. There we go. And I'm gonna grab my glue dots. Love the sequin adhesive back pieces. There's our dimensionals. There we go. All right, and as you can see, I still have a few pieces left. So I still actually have a couple of card bases and a number of die cut pieces. So whether they end up in my kids' craft stash or if I end up making a few more alternative pieces, I haven't quite decided yet. But this has definitely been a kit that I've had a lot of fun crafting with. If you haven't noticed yet, I love butterflies. And so this kit was definitely something that was right up my alley. All right, so here are some of the pieces that we're going to use for our first project. So the first one I'm going to do is a card. So I'm actually going to just punch out that there. This I'm actually going to save for our other project, but then I do want these guys here. Here we go. All right, and then what I've got here is just a piece of Bermuda Bay cardstock. I just cut a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock in half. And then again, what I did is I cut apart, this is my last card base like this. I did actually see an example by Rachel Tessman, a US demonstrator. I love her examples with the paper pumpkin, where she used the butterflies from the stamp set as an overlay to this card base. I just cut it up so that way I've got my white cardstock for my card base here. So let's fold this guy in half. Here we go. Get that nice crisp clean fold with my bone folder. And that's just going to get set off to the side. All right, and so on the inside, going to have a nice big piece of white on the inside. And then I'm going to add in, so we're actually doing the florals on the outside. instead of the butterflies, I'm actually going to grab the little floral stamp from our stamp set here. There we go. And I've got Bermuda Bay cardstock on, and then the white. So I'm going to actually stamp this with Bumblebee. So bring a little bit of the other color that I'm using in this card to the inside. Go. So that's on the inside. So I'm going to set that aside to dry. And then let's grab our other piece here. And then what's going to go in the back here is actually our little ink splatter image. Go, just peel that off there. That's going to go right on top. And I'm actually going to do a combination of Bermuda Bay and the Bumblebee. So I'm going to start with a little bit of the Bermuda Bay and just kind of randomly and we'll do one more over this way here. There we go. Give that a nice, good, quick clean. And let's swap this out for that Bumblebee. There we go. All right. And again, yeah, just gonna kind of fill in some of the gaps here. There we go. All right, and so before I get my finger stuck in my ink pad, let's flip that shut. All right, and this I'm just gonna give a little wave, let that dry a little bit more before I stick that on. So while I wait for that to dry, what I'm gonna do is grab my Stampin' Seal and we're gonna put this on the inside of our card. So whether you use tape runner, like the new Stampin' Up! Stampin' Seal, or whether you use the glue dots from the kit, either way. So you can see I still have plenty of glue dots. I'm more of a tape runner girl when it comes to this kind of stuff. Smaller pieces like the die cut butterflies, even sometimes some of the flower images. I actually use the glue dots. Although in this case, I'm actually going to be using some liquid glue. All right, so there we go. We've got that piece there. And now let's grab our nice little background piece here. I think I like it better the other way. Here we go. Not that it makes too much of a difference, but all right. So this I'm just going to stick on there like that with my tape runner. And then this piece here, I'm actually going to do a little trimming with my paper snips. So I'm going to do this about in half. So you could do this with your paper cutter if you're not quite so sure. You want to make sure you get a straight edge. And usually not too bad. All right, and so I'm just going to trim the ends off so they're nice and even. All right, and these are going to get popped up with some dimensionals. And I'm going to put these on first, so then that way I know where my, there we go, where my flowers are going to go. So I can kind of place them around the phrase here. go. I'm going to put this on a little bit of an angle here. So this one's going to go slanted kind of upwards, left to right, and then this one's going to go down, left to right. Oh, and one more. This one's a little longer. Go, just peel the back off there. All right, and this I'm going to actually put a little further down. Kind of fill in some of those spaces. All right, and now we've got our flowers as well. So I'm just going to kind of place these down. This is the smallest one, so I can tuck this one in kind of behind a little bit. There we go. So just like that. There we go. Just going to kind of get a feel for where I want those to go. Looks really good. I'm going to grab my Tombow liquid glue. You can use this or you can use the fine tip glue pen. Either one will work. So just with the Tombow liquid glue, just want to make sure you don't squeeze too hard. Although if you put this on the silicone sheet, and if you end up with a big blob, then you don't have to worry because the glue will just, it's not going to really stick to the silicone sheet, and then you don't have to worry about that extra glue on your project, or in my case on my fingers. I don't mind a little glue on my fingers, or ink for that matter. There we go. All right. That's going to go right down here. There we go. And then this guy here, our last one. And if you do end up with any kind of bigger blobs than you want, it's really easy to just kind of spread those out. Okay, I'm going to try and tuck this under. I'm not too worried if there's a bit of a smudge. That's okay. Because once the glue dries, it's actually going to dry clear, so you won't even notice it. All right, there we go. And then, of course, have to add in a few of these. All right. Oops, let me just flip this around. So I like to use the spatula end of my Take Your Pick tool. I'm actually going to put one in the center of each of the flowers. There we go. I'm going to add a couple more too. Just why not? All right, I still got lots left. Let's put you there. Yeah. And we'll do one more. I like to keep them in nice odd numbers. Oops, there we go. All right, this guy's coming apparently. There we go. So there's our first card of the evening. Now for the other project, I said we were going to do something a little different, a little kind of gift tag adjacent, so to speak. All right, and what I've got here is, so this is part of the band that was set to go around the paper pumpkin box itself. So what I've done is I just trimmed off one of the edges. I'm actually going to round that a little bit more. My paper snips here. There we go. And then I've kept my layering circle dies, even though they're retired, because I don't have a punch this size. So that fits quite nicely right in that little spot there. So this is actually going to be a tag for a bottle of wine or whatever kind of bottle. Could be non-alcoholic, could be alcoholic, leave that completely up to you. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use that piece along with, so we've got this tag here, and then I'm going to use the large butterfly from, again, this should have been going on the outside, but since I'm using my box for something a little different, then I'm going to just switch that up a bit. All right, so on the tag here, so this is going to be kind of an extra piece on the tag. I'm grabbing the Sweet Ice Cream stamp set from the annual catalog. So I can grab a thank you to throw on here. There we go. I'm going to do a little tone on tone. Actually, no, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to do some Blackberry Bliss. So you could do Bumblebee straight on there. I think with the purple from the butterfly, I'm going to actually pull these two in together. All right. That's going to go. Yeah, we're going to do it straight on. There we go. You can let that dry. All right, so there's our piece from the Sweet Ice Cream stamp set. All right, and I'm not too worried about this side. I'm not going to do a whole lot. I'm just going to stamp let's make sure this side will fit. Ooh, just. There we go. And we're going to stick with the Blackberry Bliss here. For this guy anyway. All right, and so I'm going to angle him just a little bit. Here we go. And I'm also going to grab the smaller butterfly here. Here we go. Oh, there's just a little something on the back of the tag. You don't need a naked piece of cardstock here. There we go. All right, so now let's flip this around. And I am going to use, like I said, I am going to use this guy here. So I'm not going to stamp any more butterflies on this side. Tempting. But this guy, I think, is a big enough statement piece. I might add the two smaller ones, though. But first, what I'm going to do is actually going to, again, with my nice little ink splatter image here. Okay, I want to pull in both of the colors. A little bit of that bumblebee. And I'm not too worried about covering, although I will pull in the butterfly before I glue that down just to see if I want to add a little bit more before I glue that down. Go. And so I'm going to fill in a few of the spaces here. And just a little bit on the bottom here. There we go. All right, so we've got a good start here. If we throw that on, you can see we still have some empty spaces, more so up at the top. So let's throw in another bit of Bumblebee ink splatter here. We'll kind of break up a little bit of the Blackberry Bliss at the same time. Go. So there we go, just that one extra little piece, one extra little stamp, just to kind of fill in those spaces a little bit behind our butterfly. All right, and this guy's gonna get tied on with just a little bit of the white twine. Don't need that much. All right. All right, so that's more than enough. There we go. All right, so this is just going to get threaded through. There we go. There we go. Eventually what I'll do is I'm going to actually tie that right around that little piece there. All right, and this guy needs to get added to our tag. And where did, there we go, my dimensionals go? All right, I'm just going to take a couple dimensionals. And I'm not going too close to the edge, right? Of course, because those edges are sticking out a little bit, but right there and right there. Very strategically placed. There we go. All right, and that's just going to get popped on. There we go. Just like that. All right, let's pop these guys out here and see if we want to add some friends here. I think we do. There we go. Very nice. So these guys with the glue dots just in the center, so right there on the body of the butterfly, perfect spot. And again, just like the dimensionals, just peel the paper off the back there. There we go. All right, and this, like I said, I'm actually going to just tie this on. So an extra little tag. All right, so I'm just going to get this started. There we go. All right, let's get this a flip around before I secure that in place. Yeah, definitely want it a little higher up. There we go. So now I can just trim off that little bit of extra. Don't want to trim off too much because you definitely want that to stay in place. And there we go. So cute little bottle topper. An extra way to say thank you when we are finally able to get out and see, you know, a few more people outside our immediate little bubble. So now you've got a little something extra to leave them with. So here, I hope you enjoyed the 2 projects tonight. I'm hoping that this month's kit will be in my hands to share with you next Monday night. There's the sneak peek for the October kit out already, so I'll be posting that up in my banner very soon. It is a Christmas themed kit or a wintry themed kit. So if that is one that you're usually looking for, I know I have some particular customers that definitely want to make sure they get their hands on the Christmas and the Valentine's themed kits. So October looks like is going to be our first kit with that theme. November might as well, so stay tuned here. And then January is usually our Valentine's themed kit. So if that's one that you've kind of been waiting for, then you definitely want to make sure that you sign up for next month's kit. You have until October the 10th to sign up for next month's kit. And in the meantime, if you have any questions about Paper Pumpkin or Stampin' Up! Or just scrapbooking and paper crafting in general, don't hesitate to just leave a comment below, or you can send me an email at inspirationwiththeresa@gmail.com. I'm happy to answer any and all of your questions. And you can check out my blog where I share my other projects and other things that are going on at inspirationcards.com. Hope you guys have a good rest of the week, and I'll see you back here Monday night. Take care.